Welcome to Access Anime, I'm Henshin Ikeda, and today we're going to be reviewing One Piece episode 566. Before I go off into my review, I just have to put it out there. You see a lot of different battles in this episode. It doesn't just stick on one person, it just keeps mixing it up. But that's your typical One Piece for you. Okay, well, we start off with where we left off last, Horty versus Luffy. And Horty's he's a pill-hungry freak, I'll say that. He just had more of those magical pills that give him that extra boost, and he's back up. And Luffy is now on the main deck of Noah, and he's ready to go into overtime yet again. Horty now has super speed. He is super fast. That's all I can say. He is really fast, and, well, Luffy can't even touch him, more or less. But we get to see Luffy do Red Hawk one more time. Does his armament, and then he launches his Red Hawk. But that really doesn't do anything. That just knocks Horty back. And then the security guards, for the love of me, I don't know why they left their receivers on so they could talk to everyone back on Fisherman Island. But they basically say Luffy's had it, Horty's now back, and they're freaking out, and that's just making more chaos down below. I really think these guys that are in that bubble complex are morons. They're like the narrators slash, I don't know what you want to call them. It's just annoys the heck out of me how they keep telling everyone everything. But anyways, after the security guard scene, we go back to Zoe versus Brook. Zoe tells Brook, like, although Horty is back, there's 1 in a million chance that Luffy will win. I'm like, why would you even give him odds? 1 in a million. I can't wait to watch this bite him in the ass. But I meant Brook. Brook is just like laughing at this. He's like, I believe him. He's my captain, and he's gonna save Fisherman Island. Just love that. All that. He's like perfect. He said the perfect words at the right moment. And after we see Zoe versus Brook, we are taken to Chopper and Usopp. If you remember last time, Chopper was in his monster form. Well, he tells Usopp he can now stay in that monster form for 3 minutes thanks to the Rumble Ball. So that's Usopp and Chopper. At least now Usopp's up to date on what Chopper can actually do. But that doesn't help because Dosan is now going to be fighting Chopper. So that's a new battle that's set forth. Now after Dosan versus Chopper, Doruma, remember that little guy that lights on fire that I talked about last review? Well, he's telling Usopp, hey, I'm over here, buddy. I'm over here. Don't take your eyes off the prize. I thought that was kind of funny. And that might just be me. But we don't get to see them really battle much at that point. It goes straight to Frankie versus Much. I hope I'm pronouncing that fisherman's name correct. His last name's spelled M-U-C-H, so I'm just going to call him Much. And I was really stunned. I don't know about you, but for me, I was like stunned. This guy takes his helmet off. Much takes his helmet off, and it must just be me, but it's like a pointer that goes right above his head, like an arrow. A black arrow, and then it starts to light up, and then he bends over a little bit like he's a ram, and he just prepares to start charging at Frankie. And Frankie, he just gets out of his giant robot. But I thought it was kind of funny. Now we're taken to Zoro versus Hayazo. Now, if you remember last time, we see Zoro walking away, turning his back, and Hayazo with poison coming out of his hand. Well, Hayazo's playing a little dirty. He's gonna poison tip his blades. And that's all we see Zoro versus Hayazo, because after Hayazo we go to Sanji versus the monk. And Sanji wants to cook the monk since he's a blowfish. So that's kind of funny, and that blowfish monk's a little, I guess, irritated with what he said. He's like, well, just try it. That's all we get to see there. There really wasn't that much going on with those two. Then we are taken to Horty. Hori now does a fisherman jutsu. We're taken back to Hori versus Luffy, and he's back up yet again, because that's Hori for you. He's still high up on his pills, and he uses a fisherman jutsu called Water Heart, and then he says at the end of Water Heart, Shark Pack. And it's kind of interesting because these are sharks that are in water form. So I don't know if that's really good for Luffy or not, because he sucks in the water because he's a devil fruit user. So now he's got all these sharks attacking him. I believe these sharks can think for themselves to an extent, so they're attacking him all at once. But that doesn't work. I'm just putting it out there. It doesn't work at all, because all you hear is third gear. So Luffy says third gear, armament, elephant gun. I was like, oh, he's got another move. And it was just really, that's all we get to see there. After you see the elephant gun, pushes all the sharks away and hits straight at Hori. And no, we don't just do that. After it goes beyond elephant, he does a Gatling. It's like another attack beyond the elephant. And he's like just going at Hori left and right, shooting him straight across the Noah. And then we're actually taken back to Zoe versus Brook. And if I'm correct, Zoe versus, I'm trying to think what his special attack was. Zoe starts saying, well, don't enter my circle, something along those lines. And well, Brook has already crossed, while Zoe's talking, Brook has already crossed Zoe and has already done his special move. He's like, this is what he says, it's going to be cold, take care of yourself. And I was like, smooth words, Brook. And he says, a song of scratches, blizzard slice. This is what Brook's new attack is. It's how he said it. After, I was like, this is Brook, he's walking, he's already cut Zoe, and Zoe's still talking, and then it's like, when did you enter my circle? I was like, Brook's already done, he's already taken you out. And this is the end of Zoe. From what I see, he's done. Zoe's now been defeated. But Brook's new attack, the Song of Scratches, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Scratches, it's called Blizzard Slice. I love that attack. I mean, it doesn't have a lot, you can't really see it, but I mean, it's like a one slice attack. Now we're going back to Daruma versus Usopp. Now, I don't know about you, but he does a lot of attacks, because these traps he put out, it's like boom, 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 all at once. You've got him with the Green Star Human Drake attack. They're flying flowers with human-shaped roots, which they attack things that's flying over them. I don't know if that's the best description for them. Then he says Green Star Trampolia, which it blows away all approaching enemies. So I guess this is kind of benefiting Usopp, because he's usually got his slingshot, so it pretty much immobilizes the enemy in midair, which is kind of handy, because then his next attack, his special attack, is called Green Star. And his Green Star attack, it looks like a Christmas tree at first, like a green pine tree with a red nose, but it turns out to be a wolf. Yes, a wolf. It turns into a green wolf, more or less. And here's a catch. The bulb at the end of the nose of this Green Star wolf, however you want to call it, if you try to, it has like a shockwave attack. If you try chopping the nose off, he explains to Dorian, well, if you're going to attack this guy, I should warn you, the nose is going to, like, why would you tell him your special attack like that? I don't understand why some of these characters divulge their plans like that in the open. But it sends, for the most part, it sends Daruma flying, and he's pretty much out of it. But this was the final special attack that Usopp calls out. It's called Impact Wolf. That's what sends those shock vibrations out to finish off Daruma. And that was the end of Daruma. And now we're taken back to Dosan versus Chopper. You hear Dosan say, paper hammer. Nothing really special about the technique. And then you hear Chopper say, I believe it's Clover Rose or Cloven Rose. and then he says palm, and then Dosung goes flying. Basically, Chopper just slaps him across with a special technique, and Dosung goes flying. That's pretty much the end to that little battle. Then you see Frankie versus Much, and remember what I told you about that little pointer that's above him that looks like an arrow? It's a spear. That doesn't look like a spear to me. I'm sorry. I mean, it's got a point, but I mean, not much of a spear. But he's attacking Frankie like a ram, like I said, heads down, he's butting into him. Frankie's no longer in his robot, and now he's facing Much. And we don't really get to see the end result. We just get to see Frankie call out Radical Beam, which is like, he goes like this, and a beam shoots through. And I guess it ends Much, but we don't get to see anything beyond that, because I guess we were supposed to see Nami and Robin. We just see like a brief 4 seconds worth of them. I mean, we don't, who are they battling? We don't know. Random pirates. So sad, too bad. We don't get to see them. So all you Nami and Robin fans, yeah, they don't have a really strong part in this episode. Now we're taken back to Jinbei. Jinbei uses a fisherman karate called Vegi Band Drill. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's called V-A-G-A Vegi Bond or Vegi Band Drill. And he just hits the monk, the blowfish monk, and it sends him flying up into the air. Then Sanji takes advantage of that, and he's on fire. It's like he flies up and then he gets inflamed with fire. So I'm kind of liking this now, seeing Sanji's new side. And he calls it the Hell's Memory. And that's pretty much it for the monk. The fisherman monk's been slammed down. He's done. We're taken to Zoro versus Hayazu. It's over. Zoro turns around. He notices all the swords are now back in Hayazu's tentacles with the poison at the tip, and obviously Hayazu mentions something about the poison being on the tips, something along those lines, and all you hear Zoro say is purgatory. Then you hear him say Onegi. Blades back in. Hayazu's done. And we're pretty much finishing the episode back with Luffy and Horty. Like I said, Luffy's already finished off Horty to an extent, and he uses Gatling. Goes third gear, elephant, and Gatling, and he keeps continually punching, and then he punches all the way through Noah. And now Horty is flying straight to Fisherman's Island. And that's where we end the episode. What do I think is going to happen in the next episode? Hopefully, I want to say the Noah's going to stop falling, because I keep calling him Dexter, but the pirate that's on Noah, I believe he's going to awaken, and the Noah's going to rise again, or something along those lines. I believe we're going to see more of Nami, more of Robin, less of Frankie, hopefully, because he's not really doing much. I want to say hopefully more of the princes. I know there's going to be more dialogue, and hopefully Shirahoshi is going to get off her butt and stop whining and actually do something. I'm just saying, she's a lazy mermaid. She is. Whine, whine, whine. I mean, light spoiler alert. I believe, from what I read in the manga, she gets sea monsters to do something later on in the episodes, and they're going to do something. Just putting that out there. But again, this ends it for my review. Comment down below. Thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe above, and check my Twitter out. I'll leave all that information down below. Well, it's been great. I'm going to be doing Sword Art Online later, so stay tuned. And before I go, don't forget, can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.